everyone, and welcome to All Things Done with Ashley. We're super excited to have Salonia here with us as a guest today. So Salonia is a driven professional from New Orleans who relocated to Texas after Hurricane Katrina and later pursued studies in robotics, automation, and drafting, leading to her current role in the manufacturing industry. Over the years, she earned multiple technical certifications, including electronics technology, mechatronics, and an AAS in robotics and automation, and is now working towards her CNC certification. So, well, Salonia,
Thank you.
Thank you for being a guest. I'm now going to get into a little bit about you and your STEM journey. So can you introduce yourself and tell us about your STEM journey?
Okay. I'm Salonia. I recently graduated with my robotics degree. I'm currently working as a drafter, which I completed in last year. I'm actually listed as a graduate this year for my little certificate for CAD. I've been learning SolidWorks, AutoCAD, and Solid Edge. I'm doing that currently. It's different, it's great, and working in manufacturing.
Awesome, thank you. So now can you tell us what first sparked your interest in robotics and automation? Was there a defining moment that made you want to go into that field?
It's the movement of things, seeing things move, being able to program them, being able to make them do what you want them to do, and being able to learn what does what as far as engineering and stuff goes. I love it. It's great.
So can you give us an overview? You kind of started talking about it, an overview of what robotics and automation is.
Robotics and automation is basically robotics programming chips to make it program to make it do what you want it to do. Automation is like conveyors or something everybody uses every day, street lights. Street lights uses a system called PLC, which is where you program it to turn off, turn on. After this amount of time, you turn it on, it goes from here to here. So that's basically what it is.
Awesome, thank you. Can you walk us through your path from college to where you are today?
I applied for the robotics and automation degree, did that, and shortly when I was getting ready to graduate, I had one class called robotic mechanism, which is where you build robots and program them and have them, walk around the campus and everything else. And we did that, and it just so happened to be in the same building as drafting. And as I was walking down, they were doing a 3D thing of an apartment complex. Mm-hmm. And I stood there for a minute and I looked at it and I was like, that looks kind of cool.
Right.
So I went the next day to the professor that was teaching it. And I said, how can I, learn how to do that? And he was like, okay, you start here. And he wrote down all the classes and what order I need to take the classes. And the classes are really fast. They're way faster than the robotics class. The robotics classes last at least 16 weeks, and these classes are 8 weeks.
Okay.
So it's like a quick in and out. Mm-hmm. But I got into class, learned, the first one was technical drawing. So I was learning how to draw houses, buildings, and everything on paper. And then after that, it was AutoCAD, which is where you do it in 2D. And then after that, I did SolidWorks, which is 3D, which is the one that I saw that caught my eye and made me want to start doing drafting.
I love it. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's very awesome. So did you always feel confident entering such a highly technical field?
Yes, I did. Yes, I've always had an interest in doing that. Drafting, as far as drafting goes, my dad did construction. So I grew up seeing big pieces of paper with drawings of houses, with dimensions and stuff on it.
Yeah.
As far as robotics go, I always love movies that had robots and stuff in it. They just look so interesting, and I always wondered, how did they make it do that? How did they know how to have it do that? How did they program it and stuff like that? So it's great.
Yes, very cool. So now we're going to get into kind of your career and current role. So what does your current role involve, and what does a typical day look like for a drafter?
My current role involves basically taking people's drawings of a part and turning them into 3D. So that way we could turn that paper, that drawing into an actual part.
Yeah.
So it basically, it's the same part that they have that we are making from scratch.
Yeah.
Yeah. So every day I get a order with dimensions, how many teeth are on it. And I basically take those words and turn it into a part.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So what kind of systems, machines, or technologies do you get to work with in your day-to-day?
So right now I work with SolidWorks, which is the software that they use for 3D drafting.
Mm-hmm.
I use that, and that's really the main one that they use there because they just want a drawing of what it is, the part that they want.
Gotcha. So did you get any certification or technical training to learn how to work with 3D machine?
3D machine? No.
Okay, so it was just like, so you do the SolidWorks part and then you send it to someone else to do the 3D.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Awesome. So awesome. So what's the project you've worked on that made you think, wow, this is why I chose this field?
It was the project that we had in my it was what class was it? SolidWorks. We just learned how to do gears and parts and everything, and he let us do a project, and being able to see it all come together, like you draw a line, you draw a circle or whatever, and then you like expand it and it's an actual part, because it starts off as just lines,
Yeah.
and then from those lines you make it into the width or the length that you want it to, and you're actually able to see the part that you made.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. So what technical skills do you think are most important for success in robotics, automation, or drafting in today's landscape?
Technical skills, detail for sure. You have to have a good eye for detail. Technology, as far as like using computers and stuff like that. Mathematics is another big factor of that. Learning inches and millimeters, really all the dimensions, because you never know where or what kind of parts you have. Everything you have is not going to be in inches. Everything you have is not going to be in millimeters. So it's that's really the good part.
A lot of mathematic conversions.
Yes.
Okay. Very nice. So how important is coding, mechanical design, or AI knowledge in your role?
Coding, not that much.
Okay. As far as the drafting aspect.
So with us, we make the part, and the part makes a code, but the code goes to programming. They're the ones that really uses the coding that we make to make the part.
So you get to cross collaborate with coders, programmers, mechanical engineers.
Yes.
What other departments do you get to collaborate with in your day to day?
Let me see. Outside of IT, there's inspection. There's a painting. Painting. That's really it.
That's awesome. I love it. So what surprised you most about working in robotics and drafting as compared to studying it, like the verbal and written versus actually making it happen and come to life? Was there anything different, anything that surprised you actually going into the field?
The sizes really of the parts, to see, because in class you get to see it, you make it, and then to actually see it in person, the stuff that you made is very exciting. Because on a computer you draw it, like say it's 60 inches, and you're like, okay, that's 60 inches, and then you go outside, you actually see like that's a big part.
You see it to scale.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So how do you stay current in such a rapidly evolving field? I know you're getting your CNC and things. How do you stay current with so much happening?
Definitely YouTube, watching other people's videos. As far as CNC goes, I watch Titans of CNC. Just found out that they're here in Flower Mound. They were in California. They're a great place to learn coding and what happens with the codings and all of that. I love it.
Awesome. So can you tell us what CNC stands for the audience?
Computer Numeric controllers.
Okay, so that's something you all can look into to see if it's something you ever want to study or pursue. So now we're going to talk about your experience as a woman in robotics, where women are still very underrepresented. How has your experience been?
It's been great.
Yeah.
The guys that I've had the chance to work with, they don't treat me any differently. They're very nice. Being in class for both robotics and CNC and drafting, there were many classes where I was the only female, and they never made me feel out of place or that I felt, less than them or whatever. Anytime I had a question, they helped me. They never made fun of me. It was great. I love that because it's a lot of women that want to go into STEM, and STEM is mostly men. And that's the part that scares everybody. But there are really some guys out there that are very proud of you that will want you to learn the stuff, and they will help you along the way.
Absolutely. That's why on this platform we do focus on women in STEM, but we also always have our summer series, Men in STEM, because there are a lot of men, like you said, that are allies of women in STEM, and that will help and that will answer questions. So thank you. So now I want to ask, how did you have any role models or mentors who helped you along the way?
One role model I had for my robotics degree was Sophie George. She was one of the only female teachers that I had that taught robotics. There was one later on that came on after, but the main female teacher there that taught all the classes as far as robotics went was Miss Sophie George. And I wanted to talk to her to let her know, hey, I got a job doing drafting, they asked me about robotics all the time and everything like that. Just thank you. Yeah. But when I went to the campus, they told me that she went to another school. So
maybe y'all can reconnect on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
I can see this episode. Salonia.
Yeah, and as far as drafting goes, a role model, it would be Mr. David Taft, because he was the one that I introduced myself and told him, hey, I have a robotics degree. I don't have any background at all with drafting, but I really want to learn it. And he literally made like YouTube videos and everything, helped me along the way. Any questions I had, he stayed late, he came in early, anything that I needed, he helped me. Yes.
That's so amazing.
Yes.
He really invested time
yes,
to help you
yes.
to where you want to be.
Yes.
That is so important. And a true mentor or something will do something like that. They care about investing in the future.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a beautiful story. Great to hear. So what unique strengths do women bring to engineering and robotics? I know you spoke about detail earlier. What strengths do you think that your perspective brings to your team and different things like that?
Definitely diversity. I bring diversity, knowledge as far as what I know. And I'm a very open-minded person. If I don't know anything, I ask questions and I soak in the information when I'm learning.
Awesome. So now we're going to talk about the future of robotics. What emerging technologies in robotics excite you the most right now?
All of it.
This is like 2 or 3 for us.
I'm excited mostly about the expansion of it. I want everybody to learn robotics. It's really cool. And I would, the technology behind it, it's great. It's helpful. I know people are like, they're going to take our jobs or anything like that. Like, no, they're very helpful. And I think everyone should at least learn machines or, robotics or anything like that. There's room to grow. There's always room to grow with everything.
Yeah. So what are some concepts they should learn about robots or mechanics and things like you've listed? Like what is something people can learn about it as it's evolving?
Programming. Programming.
What types of programming?
PLCs. PLCs for robots. You can use that program also to program street lights.
What does that stand for?
PLC, programmable logic controllers.
Okay.
So it's basically when you go outside and you see like a little box on the end of the street. That's a PLC that controls the lights, and someone actually sat there and programmed, this light turns red in 30 seconds, or after 10 seconds it turns this. It's really great learning the program and how everything works. Another thing we don't think about is when you walk into a store and the door dings. There's a fuse for that was programmed also. So program is great.
So I know you listed some some YouTube channels and resources for helping you with your CNC. Are there any that people can learn different robotics concepts like you just mentioned online? Or any, it doesn't have to be YouTube, it could be other resources, but
I'm all YouTube. So I just put in robotics and stuff and look at other people and how they design the stuff, and I just learn off of them. The videos, how they, put the stuff together, different. Sometimes it's not a kit. I've learned that also people just use like random stuff that they find to make a robot parts and put parts on a robot.
awesome. So now, how do you see robotics changing everyday life in the next 10 to 20 years? I know you said it doesn't necessarily have to take our jobs, but what do you see happening with robotics in the next 10 to 20 years?
It'll help. We already in the phase where they have like little robots running around the house and doing vacuums and stuff. I think eventually they'll be having them doing like little house tasks and stuff, like on the what show is that? The Jetsons. So yeah, it would be something like that.
How do you think it will play into the role in your current role, like drafting and stuff? How do you think automation, AI, and things will work with your group and what you normally do day to day in the next 10 to 20 years?
I think it'll maybe turn the parts a little faster than we do. They take the wording, because AI mostly takes wording and turn it into a photo or a part or anything else that you need. So it'll be less for the person that's on the job to do, just helping them along the way.
Mm-hmm. Good. What advice would you give to young girls or future STEM leaders who are curious about robotics and drafting and automation but feel intimidated?
You should do it. Mm-hmm. Definitely. Don't let your fear get in the way of what it is that you want to do. If you have to look up videos, ask questions or anything, go right ahead. You don't know if you like it until you try it. So, because stepping into robotics or drafting, I didn't know if I was going to like it or not, but in the end, I did. And if it wasn't for me trying, I wouldn't have known.
Yeah, that's awesome. Was there anything like growing up that you enjoyed doing that helped you know the drafting? I know you said your dad was in construction. Mm-hmm. So were you drawing at an early age? Were you was your dad teaching you, like you said, the scale, like millimeters, inches on his drawings? Or like as a child before college, was there anything in your childhood that helped affect that as well as your dad's role?
Just random. I used to draw random house stuff and just measure it out. I used to take his, because he had any tape measure or anything. I used to just take a ruler or tape measure and measure it, and then like try to draw it exactly how it is in front of me. Yeah. So
that's awesome. Did you ever take drawing classes or anything?
Before now, no, I didn't.
Do you take them now?
Yes, I'm still doing them.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
Never enough education.
Yeah. So what are some tools you use for drawing? What protractors? They have like the different types of rulers. What are some tools you use? Like
ruler, compass, different sheets of paper.
What are some different types of paper people use in drafting?
8 by 10, like sizes, 8 by 10.
Sizes. I didn't know if it was like thicknesses.
Yeah. It depends on what scale it is that you want to draw it. If you want to go into drafting, I recommend do not use mechanical pencils. Mm-hmm. Mechanical pencils will break. They have drafting set pencils, and I when I first got it, I was like, I'm gonna break it, because like mechanical pencils, I always break them. Yeah. Those things are durable.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome, thank you. So what can students start doing today if they want to pursue that field?
Study a little bit at a time. Start yourself off small, and then work off of what you learn, and then build off of that.
So what is there some concepts they could study? What can they look up on YouTube? Like, can you tell us some topics?
Yes, basic PLC programming. All of it is mostly based off of programming. There's also microprocessor programming, which is the chip that you will program to have it do the movements or anything that you want it to do. As far as parts, there's videos for that. There's kits, little simple kits that come with the screws and everything else you just put together. and you program it, and it moves the way you want it to move. So that was the most exciting part for me. I love that class. Just seeing it all come together, it was great.
Yeah. So what is like? Can you tell us 3 different sentences for 3 different videos they would type into YouTube to find what you just spoke about? What would they say?
Basics of robotics.
Basics of robotics?
Yes.
Okay. And then what else?
Basic robotics programming,
Okay.
and then how to program PLCs.
Okay. So those are 3 prompts you can put in YouTube and start seeing everything she's talking about. Is there kit links usually in the bottom of the YouTube videos, like in the description, or is it a site for toolkits that you like?
VEX, VEX Robotics is the kits that we used in my class. It came with everything. It's on the pricey side. I gotta give it to you. It's like it's like $1,000 and more.
Okay.
But it's, you can switch out the parts. You can make it into something else. They give you different options. You go from a claw to just a clip to, it gives you like different parts that you can interchange. So,
Right. So do they make kits maybe for high school students that may be watching, or college students? Are there any
yes,
companies
they
that
do.
you know that make more affordable kits?
Yes.
Is it the same company or a different one?
It's the same one.
Oh, so they have different levels of kits.
Yes.
So if you wanna check it
Yeah.
out with
Yes.
$1,000. They have more affordable ones on there. So check that out. I'll have to give you that, and I'll have to put it in the description for them to click. So are there any common myths about robotics careers that you'd like to debunk here today?
You're gonna take your job. that's the main one. Yeah. So robots mess up just like people. Sadly, their mess ups are way worse because they're more costly. But it's something.
Okay, cool. What has been your proudest moment in your career so far?
My proudest moment,
Yeah.
my job, definitely. I love my job. It's definitely a different direction than where I knew I was going. Just learning everything, everybody being patient, everybody's answering the questions that I have, and I love it. It's great.
So what aspect of your job makes it your proudest achievement?
Ma'am,
What aspect of your job makes it your proudest achievement?
when a part that I did comes back correct.
For the inspection that they
Yes.
and seeing, like you said, seeing the drawing come
Yes,
back.
yes,
So
yes.
that's very rewarding.
Yeah.
Very rewarding. And it shows that all your studying has paid off.
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. So what keeps you motivated during difficult projects or long development cycles?
That I started it. As long as I started, I feel like, I'm good to go. Because as long as I started, I know that I start and I only have a couple more steps until it's all done. But if I start, I know I'm on the way to the finish line.
So when obstacles arise or maybe the objective changes, what keeps you from getting frustrated?
Breathing. I definitely breathe and give myself a couple minutes to breathe, and then get back to refocus on what the task that I have.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, so if you could go back and give your younger self one piece of advice, what would it be?
Start studying now.
Okay, start studying what now?
Robotics or drafting.
And what components of robotics are drafting?
Just programming or how to build it or anything dealing with robotics. As far as drafting, I should have spent more time with my dad looking at his drawings and asking questions. But as a kid, you don't think about stuff like that.
Yeah, so Salonia, before we close out today, we have one more question. But before that, is there anything else you would like to share today?
I'm very happy to be here. It's nice to see you again. Met you last year. It's very good to be on the show. I've watched many of your episodes. I'm very proud of you. Congratulations on everything.
Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
So last year I went to a Women in STEM conference in Dallas that I saw online, and the very last day I got to network a little bit, and I had car trouble the day before, so I only made it the second day. Anyway, and I got to meet Salonia, and we connected, and she has been such a great supporter of all things STEM with Ashley, so thank you. And we're so glad to have you here. Drafting is something people don't get to talk about a lot in the STEM world.
Yes.
So it's great hearing your perspective, and like you said, people don't think about seeing something on a computer and then seeing it in life. Like people who draw cars and then seeing the car in person versus on a tiny screen.
Yeah, I tell everybody everything started with an idea, and then from that idea it went from paper, and then from paper it went to machines, and then from machines it was made. So
I love that. Thank you, Salonia.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So, Salonia, last question of the day.
Okay.
Can you share with us 3 tips for success you would like to leave with the audience today?
3 tips of success. Whatever you're thinking about starting, a business you want to start, or anything you want to learn, go ahead and do it. Because like I said earlier, you don't know if you like it until you try. So the second would be introduce yourself to people, networking, learning how to talk to people. The third would be a focus for sure on whatever goal it is that you have set, whatever goal it is you want to meet. Focus.
Well, thank you for being a guest on All Things with Ashley today. Everyone, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And also check us out on our other platforms. And remember, we're also on podcast now, so you can listen to us when you can't watch. And we will see you next time. Bye-bye.